Great. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Retired Living True series and today's virtual tour with Promenade on the River. And I just wanted to thank everyone for being here today. And the reason we're doing these tours virtually, as you know, we can't do our bus tour that we did last year. And it's just a great opportunity to learn about the wonderful communities that we have here in the Reno, Sparks, Carson City area. And I just applaud all of you for wanting to take the time just to learn more about what each community has to offer, because the communities that we have here are all so different. They're all fantastic communities, but each one has little differences to it. So it's good to kind of learn what makes them different. And we never know what might happen in our future. We all want to age in place where we are, but sometimes things make more sense for us to make a move. So it's just good to know about our options and just be educated and informed. So just before we get started, I just wanted to put up a quick poll and just get some feedback from people on a couple of questions that we have. So let me just launch that first. So you should have 4 questions that are going to pop up on your screens. And the first one is we just wanted to know if you've attended one of our seminars before, either a webinar or a seminar at some time in the past. I guess it's now 5 years that we've been doing the Retired Living True series. So just a simple yes or no, if you wouldn't mind just responding to that on your screen. And then we also wanted to know whether you had been to one of our past seminars talking about the different senior living options, the different communities that we have. Laurie, who's on the call today, she's been on one of the panels before, as have a number of the other communities. And we just wanted to know whether you'd been along to learn about the communities in general. And then thirdly, if you had the opportunity last year to go on the bus tour, we all had a lot of fun that day, and we will certainly in 2021, when we can, do another bus tour of our different communities. So we just wanted to gauge how many people on the call today were actually able to make the bus tour that we did. And then just lastly, if you were able to attend the tour that we did last month, the virtual tour with Clearwater at Ranchero, if you were able to be on that virtual tour. We just want to gauge whether people are coming back a second time to see the next tour and how many people are just new to doing the virtual tours with us. So if you could just each respond to those, that'd help us greatly in terms of planning. So thank you. I'll just leave that up for a moment. And what I'd like to go ahead and do is just introduce Laurie Leonard, who's the Executive Director at Promenade on the River. And Laurie's going to take us through a virtual tour of her community today, which I'm super excited to see and share with everybody. If you want to bring up, well, first, Laurie, if you want to say hello while we can see you full screen, and then if you want to bring up your presentation or your slides, that'll be great. And I'm just going to turn off the results for the poll. So let me just end the poll. How do I end the poll? Perfect. There we go. Just show of hands. Has the poll disappeared from everybody's screen? Did I do that right? Yep. Great. Thank you. So over to you, Laurie.
Hello, everybody. Again, as Brett said, thank you so much for your interest in having a virtual tour and learning more about Promenade on the River. I recognize a lot of the faces from your attendance at the Retired Living Truth series. And we are open for personal tours, but this is certainly a great start to introducing you all in a very safe way to Promenade on the River. So I just wanted to mention, as I can see that many of you have visited other retirement communities, been to the seminars to learn about the retirement community. So I just wanted to remind you what's a little unique about Promenade. We opened in 2001, and it's an interesting story because this building was originally built from the ground up to be a brand new luxury $1 million condominiums project. And it was a little ahead of its time in the late 80s and was never finished. And it was, a big building that sat empty for a lot of years until the developers of Promenade, who were in the business of getting financing and developing retirement communities, had this idea of taking this building and converting it into what it has become in Promenade on the River. And those people were the people who hired me. So I have been here since 2003. And they imparted to me sort of what was this community all about? Why would people want to live here, and what is the benefit of a retirement community like Promenade? And it was really always about a lifestyle change that allowed people to stay on a path of longevity. So as many of you who may live in your own private residences, it's very hard to give up. And yet a community like Promenade is all about trying to extend your level of independence when at some point you may get to a time in your life where downsizing looks attractive and less yard work and less upkeep or activities or a maintenance-free lifestyle. All of those components are what make independent living and retirement community living an attractive option for people. And some people reach that stage when they're 70s, 80s, or 90s. You know, when people stop driving is often a real big game changer to their independence. Or if you lose your spouse and partner, now life is so different when you're by yourself. A lot of our residents will move to Reno from out of state, from another part of the country, simply because they've got family members who live in this area, and now it's time that they want to be closer to be able to support each other. So there's all sorts of reasons that people, you know, take a look at this as an option. And I found that it's rare that you wake up one day and go, I think I'll move to a retirement community. You know, there are factors and effects on life that make it wonderful to live in a place like Promenade. So it's unique in a few ways. One is our size. We have 83, we call them villa apartments. It's a relatively small retirement community. You don't normally find independent living communities that are below 100 apartments. So we're a little more intimate. You know, we usually have around 85 or so residents. Most of our residents are single men and women, and there's a reason for that. You know, having a community of people to do things with is what people are looking for. So we do have couples, but the majority are single men and women. So, and we're privately owned. And why is that different? Well, again, it's unusual to find a retirement community that is a simple standalone. You know, we're not part of a chain. We're not developed by a senior living company. We are owned in a family trust, and they were the investors long ago, and I'm happy that the family has continued to elect, you know, to keep Promenade in their portfolio. So we manage our day-to-day locally here. That's myself and my department heads, and there's a lot of resident input on activities, on menus. It's a little different culture than I think some of the other communities may have, because it is more corporate and more of a chain. So we're a little unique in that way. And the whole goal is truly to give our residents the option and the opportunity to stay on a path of longevity. And whether that's because they eat better or they get out more, they don't have the worries of maintaining the home. We have found that all of those things contribute to, we hope, sort of a quality of life and how you want to spend your remaining active years. And you can do as much or as little as you want and come and go as you please. It's simply a nice service-based lifestyle. So let's see, moving on. We have a variety of floor plans here. Out of the 83 apartments, there are about 35 different floor plans, which is what contributes to the differences in pricing. Our monthly pricing starts at $2,000 a month as an all-inclusive price point. We are located on Court Street, and I know there's been a misconception with a lot of people over the years on promenades in downtown Reno. Well, if you can follow this map a little bit, you can see that Promenade's located on the south side of the Truckee River, across from downtown, but close to Arlington Avenue, and we're nestled in a lovely historic, sorry about that. We are nestled in a really lovely historic residential neighborhood, and I put my background to show you. This is Court Street. So full of sidewalks and mature trees, and in a great spot close to Midtown, close to hospitals, close to the Pioneer Center. So it's very centrally located in Reno. I've seen that many decisions.
Pendant for C101 is going off. I have Dave checking.
See, I'm still at work, and I am working, and life goes on, so sorry for that interruption. Anyway, it's very centrally located. Many people may choose a retirement community based on, where their family lives geographically, so that it's convenient for people to visit, and that's a very valid factor in decision making. But Promenade's nicely centrally located, kind of in the heart of the Arts and Culture District. We have 2 underground parking garages. So you can see on the right of this slide here, the entrance to the Court Street parking garage. We have another parking garage that you access from behind the building, which runs along the river. But having underground parking is a nice added bonus. It's included in our monthly pricing for those who are still actively driving. There's a nice view of what the parking looks like. So you get your own clicker. It's assigned parking, so you have your own parking place. And the parking garages have access directly into the building. So it's out of the elements, it's safe, secure, lit with cameras and all of that. That's the front desk area just inside our front entrance. So that is our Concierge Desk. And we have a staff member 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which brings a lot of peace of mind to residents as well as their family members to know there's always somebody here available to respond in the event of a medical emergency. They do security rounds for us. During the day, they field all the phone calls and receive packages. And they're pretty much that reference point that there's always somebody there. So this is our atrium. This is kind of our living room, if you will. It's our gathering spot. We have a coffee bar set up there. We have a social every week, and we bring in entertainment. So we rearrange this room to accommodate people more auditorium style, and we have newspapers that are complimentary. So this is what you see when you first come in to Promenade. Some of the pictures on the right is some entertainment that we've had in years past. It's a variety of musical talent. During COVID, we've had to rethink the kind of entertainment we can have that keeps it safe for residents. Excuse me one second. There you go. To keep it safe, right now vocalists and people playing saxophones are deemed not safe. So we've been able to have groups like the String Beans. It's a wonderful ensemble playing viola and violin. Many of you may have seen them in the past. Next, so we had this a little out of order, but I think I know it's coming next. So this is our main dining room. This is called Picasso's, and it's more formal. It's where we serve lunch and dinner. This is Portofino's, which is where we serve breakfast. So I'll go tell you a little bit about breakfast. The dining program at Promenade is included in the monthly fee. Some of the other retirement communities have a different way of managing their dining that is a separate feature of the monthly rent. At Promenade, it's simply included as part of the services and amenities, all 3 meals per day. We serve breakfast between 7 and 9 in the morning, and so for those who are not early risers, they simply choose not to have breakfast or to take advantage of the fact that breakfast was included in their monthly rent. It's all open seating here, meaning, goodness gracious. It's open seating, so you come in, breakfast is very informal. There's the other side of the room, and we serve breakfast. We do eggs cooked to order. We have French toast and fruit, cereal, yogurt, coffee bar, eggs, bacon, hash browns. So it's a full breakfast every day for those who are morning risers and enjoy a nice breakfast. So in Picasso's, this is where we serve lunch and dinner. We serve lunch between 11:30 and 1. And again, it's open seating. We do seat you, which helps to, well, it helps the service flow to ensure good service, and it's menued, weighted dining. The specials change every day, and people sit with different people, so that's often the way people get to know each other early on, is, after a week or so. You have dined with so many different people, and it's the same people in the community that become your friends. But it takes the mystique or the awkwardness out of, is somebody sitting here? Can I sit there? Well, we will help seat you, and it's a lovely dining program. I always mention to people that I'm fortunate to eat with my fellow directors just about every day for lunch, so I'm well versed in the food, and it's a real treat and luxury for us here. So the picture on the right, that is just a photo of an art gallery that we have used part of Portofino's, and for about the last year and a half have had different art exhibits from local artists in the area, as well as Promenade artists and Promenade-owned art, so it's been very fun to be able to display a nice art gallery, art exhibit here. This is the lunch and dinner menu from a couple of days ago, so every day these specials change. Lunch will feature 2 soups, 2 salads, 2 entrees. It is cooked to order here. You find soups that are simply wonderful and you don't find in a restaurant anywhere. It is restaurant-style dining at Promenade, very mix and match. As you can see, there's no prices on the menu. So you order everything and anything that you would like. And because it is cooked to order, in fact, on Tuesday, when we had this menu, I had the grilled ham and cheese. As you can see, it's half portions, but it was not a mundane sandwich. It was very delicious with a little bit of this shallot and herb butter. So in independent living, there is no dietitian here. Our residents are educated about the menu. Our chef has been running our dining program for 14 years, and we are happy to go over questions or help you navigate our menus so that you can choose entrees and items that are healthy for you. So generally, there'll be a broth based against a cream-based soup, and you can make a house salad, your entree salad if you prefer. Sometimes if we're having a grilled ham and cheese, we might be able to simply make you a little mini chef salad. Take the ham, the cheese off the sandwich that would be used for the sandwich and put it on our house salad. So it's very flexible. As you can see at dinner, the same 2 soups and special salad of the day repeat on the dinner menu, but the entrees will be different. So in addition to the featured specials, which in that evening was a chili relleno or a coco vin, I don't know if you can all see that. Brett, you can go ahead and advance. So on the dinner menu, there's, in addition to the specials, is an always available menu. So we have, you can always order a chicken breast, spaghetti, pasta, a cottage cheese and fruit plate, a vegetarian plate. You can get a hamburger. We have a fish option. So there are lots of choices on the menu. Go ahead. I started telling you this is just a picture of a reception we had when we opened up one of our art exhibits, and we hope to bring that back once it's safe to have visitors and a little more of a gathering. So we had just suspended our exhibits, but they've ranged from beautiful art to textiles, printmaking, and it's a lovely addition. Go ahead. This is our beauty salon. Our beautician's name is Barbie. She has been Promenade beautician for about 13 years. So she does obviously hair and nail treatments. It's really welcoming, friendly, as you might imagine. You know, your hairdresser knows everything about you, and it's a lovely opportunity to visit, but she does great work. She's been my hairdresser as long as she's been here. So it's conveniently located within the building. And as per the COVID, instructions for all hair salons, it's now simply one client at a time with an appointment. So I hope someday we'll get back to a little more congregating and friendliness, but right now it's simply one-on-one. Go ahead. Our fitness center, pretty self-explanatory. We have the necessary machines that are effective for exercise. A lot of our exercise classes now take place in our multi-purpose room, which I don't have a slide of, but the group has grown, and in order to accommodate social distancing, we have chair volleyball, chair exercise, Tai Chi, yoga. The full body workout is all now conducted and held in our multi-purpose room. So the machines still are available in the fitness center. Next. Our pool deck. So this is our rooftop pool deck. It's the largest part of our outdoor space. We have a few other smaller community decks that overlook the city and the river. Heated pool. It is seasonal because it's outside. It's a lovely outdoor space, great views, great sunsets. We've got a fire pit on the upper deck there, and we've been having some lovely outdoor evening socials during the summer. Again, safer social distancing allowed there and being outside. So we've had water aerobics from our instructor all summer, and we're getting ready to replace that activity with chair exercise. Next. We have an indoor spa, hot tub. One of the things that I want you to know, in a smaller community, it is smaller groups of people who find interest in different things to do. And just because we have a spa or a pool doesn't make everybody a water person. So there's a lot of privacy in Promenade. The folks who live here who enjoy a nice hot tub, you can utilize this all by yourself as if it's your private spa. We treat it every day. We're pool certified here as well as spa certified, so the chemicals are balanced and measured and treated every day. So you have all these amenities within your building. That is what makes for a larger home. So we're going to get into apartments coming up here. The next slide is activities. So each month we publish our activities calendar, and this is distributed to each resident. It's also posted on a daily basis. But what you'll see is, every day there's some form of exercise class. There are social activities. We have an art studio and a movie theater, so we coordinate art classes. We have a movie night on Friday nights. And again, it's smaller groups of people. We had a wonderful art class with a guest artist who came in to teach a type of pendant painting. And there were about 6 residents. Movie night may have around 10 or 12, and now they have taken to a nice recap critique of the movie at the end. So it's very resident driven here. We do outings. We take people to department stores and Raley's, and we'll talk a little bit more about transportation, but you'll see that that's listed on our activities calendar. And it's very programmatic in senior living, so repetitive. We do, the same trip to the grocery store every Wednesday at 1:30. So it becomes a routine. It helps people be able to plan what their week looks like if they're in need of transportation to get to a department store or a Trader Joe's run. We do them on the same day of the week to make it easy to remember. And these activities are always changing. We provide transportation to the Philharmonic, and of course that is suspended right now, but the Philharmonic did a pop-up at Promenade this summer. So you may have seen in the news that in order to continue sharing art and music with the community, the Philharmonic members went around all summer long to do little pop-up concerts, and they did a pop-up concert right in the porte-cochere area of the front of our building. So that's our van. So we have several vehicles for transportation. We have a dedicated driver. He has been with us for quite a few years now, 5 or 6 years. And so transportation is also part of the monthly fee and the monthly service available to residents here. We schedule doctor's appointment transportation for residents 5 days a week here. There are hours, so it is limited, but it's available from around 8 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we also schedule the trips to the grocery store, the banks, the post office, the department stores, Trader Joe's, libraries. All of that is included transportation. So we either use our van. We have a lovely trip planned to Apple Hill, which is over in California. It's a lovely fall destination, and we're hoping that if the skies stay clear, that trip will be a go, and it's a lovely drive. So, we do things like scenic drives down to Gardnerville at times of the year that's quite scenic, or up to Lake Tahoe, and we use our nice, comfortable passenger van for that. We also have a car that we use for smaller trips that's cost-effective and good on gas mileage. So we have several vehicles, but all of that transportation is included in the monthly fee. So you saw earlier, the 2 parking garages are for those who are still actively driving at Promenade, so not everyone is in need of the transportation. This is a view from our river lounge, and this is the back of our building on the river, and so this is what you actually see from the other side of the river. We use this room, it's our private dining room. We now have a very active small group of people who play Trivial Pursuit in here, and it's one of the amenity spaces. It's where many of the bridge players play. So there's other tables. That's just a photograph of one corner of the room, but gives you perspective on what you see. There are apartments that also have this view, and all the apartments are on the perimeter of the building. So the views will be different, whether you're looking north like this or south where you see mountains or the city skyline. This is one of the views from apartments as well. This is a view from the pool deck. So now you can kind of see where we are in perspective to downtown Reno. The white building there is the Lear Theater that has been under a renovation for a lot of years now, but hopefully will one day open as a performing arts theater. Next. That's another view from the upper part of the pool deck. So these are the outdoor spaces. Some communities have courtyards. We have a rooftop pool deck. Next. So did we not get to apartments, floor plans? Maybe they're coming. So here, this is looking back up at Promenade from across the river on Riverside Drive, if you know where that is, and that's also where the Island Avenue parking garage is. So that's just a perspective of where we sit on the river, but our entrance is on Court Street. Next. Oh, I see where we are, Brett. So on the apartments, I mentioned, in an all-inclusive price, which is consistent with the retirement communities, assisted living, it's an all-inclusive package. And what people pay here is determined by the apartment that they pick. So with 35 different floor plans ranging, from 1,375 square feet to roughly 1,100 square feet, they include studio apartments, they include 1 bedroom, 1 bath, they include 1 bedroom, 1.5 bath apartments, 1 bedroom, 1 bath with their own private patio. They include 2 bedrooms, but in each of those categories, we have multiple different floor plans that are different sizes. And because of the way the building is set on the hillside, you have different elevations. So some of the views are fabulous, and some of the views look at the building next door. And so we price our apartments accordingly to reflect the differences in size, as well as take into consideration what is the view. So you will see a price range at Promenade from $2,000 a month to close to $5,000 a month. Some of the larger apartments will range somewhere in the $4,000 a month range on up to $5,000. And then your medium-sized apartments are from around $3,000 to $4,000, and then your smaller apartments will be from $2,000 to $3,000, which includes all the utilities, the amenity spaces to use as you wish. You can go into the fitness center anytime. You can be in the River Lounge anytime or the movie theater anytime. It includes the dining, transportation, weekly housekeeping, which once a week the apartments get cleaned. We've had a wonderfully dedicated housekeeping staff for many years. So you see the same person. They also will change your bedding for you. So here you bring your own sheets and towels, but once a week your housekeeper will strip the bed and remake and replace with the clean linens and towels. We do have Wi-Fi here. The cable TV is also included in that monthly fee. And so everyone has the opportunity for all of the very same services and amenities, regardless of whether you pay $2,500 a month or $4,500 a month. It's just simply we're able to accommodate a very wide range and yet deliver all the same qualities to everyone, regardless of what you pay. Next. So that's a look at one of the corridors. Promenade's fortunate to have a lot of open spaces because of our skylights. So there's skylight over the main dining room. This is the skylight that is a 3-story. It covers the 3rd floor, 2nd floor, and 1st floor of the front of our building. Those are apartment doors, so you can see our corridors are very open as opposed to being more like a hotel where you have apartments facing each other on the same corridor. They're across from each other on the floor. And all the different floor plans are mixed in on every floor. There's also a different amenity space located on each floor. So instead of having the dining room and the movie theater and the fitness center and all of the other amenities located in one spot on the same floor, each floor has one of those amenities on it. So everybody lives close to something here. Next. So we're going to just run you through some pictures. I had these photographs done years ago when we did a photo shoot to show just different interiors, but every apartment here has a full kitchen, some with a 2-burner cooktop, others with the full range, but it's a full-size refrigerator and microwave is included. All of the ceilings are high ceilings like this, so what you see with crown molding and a neutral color scheme is in every apartment. There's also a stackable washer dryer in every apartment here. So we bring them as close to brand new as and never been lived in condition for every new resident. So what you see here would be a ready apartment for a move-in. What you're looking at here is a studio, one of the studios, where you have simply one shared open space for your bed, your dining, your seating, your TV, walk-in closet, and a full kitchen. Very much an open floor plan. Next. So these next few photos are of former furnished apartments, just to reflect, what you can get into them. Often it's a lot more than people think. So this is one of the 1-bedroom, 1-baths that you can see the entrance to the bedroom is just off to the side on an angle there. Again, a very open floor plan, high ceilings. There's a ceiling fan in every bedroom. And then in the studios in the living space. The entries are tile. I don't know that I have a photo of the bathrooms here, but it's a step-in stall shower here with a door. So this is looking back at the entrance of a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with the view of the full kitchen. The set of double doors on the left is where the washer dryer is in this particular apartment. There's a little nook space where this resident had elected to put a desk. And we expect you to put up pictures and make it your home. So that's all considered normal wear and tear to make a mini home. And so for so many, it includes downsizing. And I recommend, how you might approach that, and certainly Brett and Annette are experts at helping people do that, is to focus on the pieces that will make it home for you, make it functional for you. If you like to have a little dining table, bring it, even though the dining is included and guests can dine in the dining room or private parties are held in the river lounge, but you may want to have a place to sit for yourself. So you bring what's functional for you. Next. Another look at the kitchen. And again, most of the kitchens all look like this. They just may be a little smaller, tighter version in a studio or a smaller 1-bedroom, 1-bath. Cabinets, enough to store a few pots and pans. And the idea in independent living and when Promenade was developed was to give people the perception and the function that they've always had in a private home, which is a full kitchen. I'm often asked, why do we have a full kitchen when you include all the meals? Well, some people may want to cook for themselves, and we want to be able to offer that and make it available. So that's why every apartment has a full kitchen. But generally, you don't need to bring the enormous amount of pots and pans. This is one of our 2 bedrooms. So this is a living room in one of the 2 bedrooms. Shows a little bit of how much you can bring and get into an apartment here. That's looking at one of the bedrooms of this 2-bedroom. That happens to be a king-size bed. So there are apartments here that have bedrooms that allow for a large bed like that with still plenty of room for furniture. And you can see all of the apartments are on the perimeter of the building, so different views, as I mentioned earlier. So that concludes. I so appreciate your patience as I fumbled through the slides, and I hope it gives you a nice glimpse of what it looks like to be here. And I'm certainly happy to provide any personal tours to anyone. We are open to do tours.
Great, thank you so much, Laurie. And Laurie's willing to take questions, so if you have questions of Laurie, she'll happily answer as many as we can get through. Just before we jump to that, what I'd like to do is yet another poll for those who'd be willing to help me with that. And I simply want to just find out, why can't I close this poll? Here we go. I just had a couple of questions, if you wouldn't mind just helping. The first would be if you would like further information from Laurie. Simply, the first question is, would you like to receive a phone call from Laurie at the Promenade with any questions you may have? Laurie's a fantastic resource in the community, knows obviously about her community and other communities and everything related to retired living as to living options. So if you have questions at all, Laurie's more than happy to just give you a call and answer anything that you might have, whether it's whatever it might be related to. Laurie would be happy to give you a call. And then secondly, if you would like to go and have a look at Promenade on the river in person, Laurie would be happy to reach out to you and schedule a no obligation community tour and come through and have a look at a scheduled time. So if that would be of help to you, just say yes to that. And then the last two questions, just asking if you would like to register, the last question, for one of the upcoming events that we have. So on October the 8th, we have The Truth About Finding Untapped Resources Within the Community. We have a fantastic community of resources here, but not everyone's aware of all the great things that are available. So we're going to talk about ones you probably don't know about. And then October the 22nd, we have another virtual tour. We're going to go and visit our friends over at Cascades of the Sierra. And then on November the 5th, we're going to take a look at Rebel Ranchera. And then on November the 17th, we have The Truth About Who Should Be on Your Team. And then we're going to conclude the year on December the 3rd with a virtual tour at Morningstar. So I'll just leave that up and just open it up to questions. Let me just see if we can unmute everybody. Actually, you'll need to unmute yourself. So if you would like to ask Laurie a question, just click the unmute button and go ahead and ask your question of Laurie.
Hi, this is Pat, and my question is, I got in late. So, how many total people are in the residence?
On average, about 85.
85 rooms.
Well, there's 83 rooms, and we currently have about 85 residents.
Okay, thank you much.
Thanks, Pat.
You're welcome.
So that leads me to a question, Laurie. Then, is there many couples there at Promenade, or do you have a few rooms that are available?
Well,
Just tell us a bit more.
there are 6. Right now, we have 6 couples. Often, what happens, people, by the time they choose to move here, hope it's the last place they live. So, couples come together and couples, people die. So, starting as a couple, it's a wonderful support network. I really encourage couples who are thinking about making a big move like this to do it together while you get settled together. If something happens to one of you, you have made that move already into a little easier lifestyle with services and people to help support you in a time like that. So yes, we have couples, but as I said earlier, being alone is a really big driver on people looking and thinking about making a change in their life because of the isolation of being alone. So that's why community style living is so attractive to people who have found themselves alone.
Great, thank you, Laurie. Who else has a question for Laurie?
Is the cost for the unit the same whether there's 1 or 2 people living in the apartment?
No, Doug, there is going to be a second person monthly fee of $700 a month on top of what the apartment rental is. And that stays in place as long as there are 2 people residing in the apartment. Jeanette?
What is your average age of the people living there?
82.
Thank you.
So the majority of people here are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. And keep in mind, there are residents here that I moved in 2004. And so they have aged in place for 16 years. And some of the 90-year-olds are people who aged while they lived here from 75 to 90. I have a few of those. And then I also have residents, which I love, who move in at 90, and say, I just stopped driving, or, it's really about independence here, not age, but we believe in helping people age in place. This becomes home, and we want to keep people here as long as it's safe, as long as they want to be here. People can bring in care from the outside to support them, because we're not licensed to provide any care. But whatever needs, wherever the needs are, as long as people can be supported and stay safe, that's my main priority. Is we've had hospice here. I mean, that's ideal, that people can live out their life here. But nobody knows what the future looks like, and so my advice is to enjoy this while you can. And we help you cross the bridge should you need additional help. I have connections and relationships with many different outside resources, some of them who are sponsors of the Truth series. So it's a great community of resources to help people. Just because we are independent living doesn't mean you have to leave one day when you need additional help. And usually what I see is help with grooming is kind of a big one, help with hygiene sometimes, or just sometimes it's companionship, sometimes it's short-term following a surgery or a broken bone or a rehab. So care can be needed for a variety of reasons, and sometimes it's long-term, it's just enough to augment safety, and we want people to thrive here. So that's how they do it. And if they can't do it here, then we help them transition to a community, to a place that is going to support their needs. And that's what creates the availability. People move. They move because their health changes. They move to be closer to family. And that's why you always have availability in senior living, because people don't live there forever.
Thank you.
Do you allow pets? And is there a fee for the pets?
We do allow pets, Catherine, and we charge a one-time pet fee of $500 to those who bring in a pet.
Thank you.
Is there a limitation on the number of pets or the size of the pets?
No.
Okay. Oh, I can bring in my 10
No,
Great Danes. I'm so happy.
As I said, I've been here a long time, and I still am very active on the sales side. I do the tours here, and I learned a long time ago, I didn't understand why there was limitations to pet sizes everywhere I visited. When I was brand new in this business, I visited other communities, and then I started to see, if someone knows their animal and their Great Dane is going to be happy in the apartment, then that's fine. I have had senior dogs here. We've had full standard poodles and golden retrievers, and we've had little dogs too, but I didn't see the reason to limit the size of the pet. And one cat or two cats, I don't think it matters. So we simply charge the pet fee for one time for bringing in an animal. And the thought behind that is simply that someone with a pet may incur a little more wear and tear on the apartment than someone without a pet, so it's pretty common to charge a pet fee.
I have one more question about the pool up on above. Is there a date established each year, or is it determined by the weather of when it closes?
Well, we've eyeballed Memorial Day every year, so we get it going early, and then we wait for the health inspection. That always has to happen, and this year was kind of quirky, and we were fortunate to be pool certified, so we could self-open before the health department came to inspect it. But it's usually Memorial Day to October. We'll get ready to shut it down, although I just saw it's supposed to be 90 degrees next week, so there may be a reason to keep it open for a couple of more weeks until we see a forecast that is a little more permanently fall-like. But that's about the window.
Any last questions? I see we have one person who's dialed in by telephone, and if you'd like to ask a question, it's just *9 to unmute yourself. And for anyone else, there should be an unmute button on your screen somewhere if you have a question you'd like to ask Laurie. So I think we might be done with the questions. Just on behalf of everybody, I'd like to thank you so much, Laurie, for the opportunity for all of us to view your beautiful community and giving your time today to explain a lot about the community. And yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to Laurie. She's a fantastic resource. If you have questions that come up, she'll happily take a call and answer whatever question you may have. So thank you again, Laurie, for being with us today. And thank you everyone for taking time to be with us. And we look forward to seeing you hopefully at the next virtual tour or our next seminar webinar. Just wish everybody have a fantastic
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.